Hey, love, how you doing? How are things going? I have been quiet this week because, quite frankly, my life has just taken a little bit of a turn south. And it's been a lot. Like, honestly, this is not how I anticipated 2025 starting. It's not how I anticipated 2025 was going to go. Because our life is going to look very different. Probably for at least until September. Which, you know, is interesting. And it's meant a lot. It's meant that I've had to do a lot the last week. I've had so many meetings. I've got anagrams? I don't know the word. But I've had them coming out of my eyeballs. And it's felt very intense, very overwhelming. Just, you can imagine all the feels the last 2 weeks. And I'm not going to go into exactly what's happened, but I'm sure you can kind of read between the lines and figure it out. Poppy is going to be at home with us for the foreseeable, probably until... She's probably not going to be in any form of structured, if you like, school setting, potentially until next year. And it's very unlikely that it will be the setting we're at now. And so for the foreseeable, she's going to be home with us. And it's meant we've had to change a lot, because it's one thing having your kids at home with you all the time. I'm sure you remember lockdown. I had, she was a baby. But it's a very different thing having a child at home all the time with complex needs. And a child who is going through a lot, which makes my heart cry because she's 4. That is where we are. I feel like I had my breakdown. I feel like I've got things in line a little bit. That was a big thing. I just felt like I had nothing in... I didn't understand the process. Trying to understand these processes as a parent is impossible. Like, I am not new to, like, the Zen world. I've talked before about my brother. You know, he went through that process when he was younger, and he's 8 years younger than me, so I had quite a big part to play in that. It is totally different now, for one. And 2, it's totally failing our kids. Totally failing our kids. And no fault of, like, individuals. It's just, like, the system. And I've not, like, seen that before. And now I'm like, it's just shocking. Anyway, navigating that. And we're going to navigate it. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. We're going to make it work. If for no other reason, then, like I always say, we have no option but to. I used to say that I have got back out of the emotional eating spiral that I was in. I definitely was wobbly there at the beginning of the month, like first week or so. Completely back to normal now, feeling loads better. I think I was having a bit of a PMDD episode, which obviously was just exaggerated by everything that's going on. And also, look at me, acronyms, I can't remember the word, and then I'm like, oh, I've got D-D-D-D. I do have ADHD as well, diagnosed. I take medication for it. But the annoying thing about my ADHD meds is that the efficacy is not as good whenever you are stressed. So if you've got like high anxiety or you're stressed, they just don't work as well. So I think a big culmination of things made things very, very difficult. But we're getting there. We're going to get through this. We're going to get through this. We have no choice. God, I keep saying this week, like I wanted a parent to come in. I've been like, where's the adult in this situation? When do they pop up? Like, I've said to my dad, when do you come in and fix this? Because, quite frankly, your duty of care to your child, me, is lacking. That, you know, what can we do? So I am determined that whilst, yes, I'm not going to lie to you, I may look calm, right? No, inside, every day, I'm having big moments of panic. Every day, multiple times a day, you will find me in the bathroom crying. But I'm also really trying hard to focus on what I can control. And that's a big thing for me because I'm not naturally someone who deals well in situations where I don't feel like I've got absolute control over them. But I've worked too hard on myself over the last couple of years to just give in and be like, yeah, I'm just not going to bother. I'm just going to let everything fall to shit. It's not happening, right? So what did I do? I went back and watched some of my mindset courses. Actually went back and listened to my mindset course about boundary setting. That was like one big first step I had to take. I had to get really clear with boundaries, not just with other people, with myself. That was an important thing. So I've done that. I feel like I've got the mojo back in being able to say no and like putting things in place. And I'm doing 8 weeks of mindset masterclasses at the minute. They're my favourite thing, right? They give my life just everything it needs. When it comes to like personal, like filling up my cup, you don't know, I've got a training session all about love languages and figuring out which is your own. Put love languages down below. I'll send you the link to it. It's really, really good, especially if you're trying to bring in self-care and you struggle. Like you're not someone who naturally finds that easy. I did that. I set my boundaries. I had my session with my girls this week, which was just, it was everything. It was about rewiring black and white thinking and how past experiences in dieting and just upbringing around food creates these thoughts in our mind that we need to change. But the problem is that because a lot of these thoughts we have around black and white thinking when it comes to our weight and food are like coping strategies, right? We put them in place when we were younger to cope with certain things. It's really difficult to change them. Anyway, did that, loved it, felt absolutely revitalised after it, and I am excited to keep doing those. I think it's a really good thing that I had those set out for the next 8 weeks, because it just gives me that really bit of time to not only work with my clients and explore those things with them and have those conversations, but look at my own mind, check in on my own mind. And I put in my challenge group today about how we are at the midway mark, if you like, for a lot of these January challenges. And I kind of said to people, look, I want you to take some time today. I want you to stop, I want you to think, are you still giving yourself today what you promised you'd give yourself 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whatever it was? Are you still dedicating that time to yourself? Are you still making your mindset a priority? Are you still making that self-care a priority? It is so shocking how quickly it can all drop off whenever you've got busy life going on. And that's why I say to my clients, have your calls with me, book those sessions in when it comes to the mindset classes. Give yourself that time. That's so important, because honestly, if I hadn't have worked so hard on that last year, I think I would be in a puddle of despair right now. And that's not to say that I'm not, because I'm not going to lie to you, there are moments still when I get a big overwhelm of what are we going to do kind of thing. This is it's not even what we're going to do. It's just so much. If you've ever been in similar positions, you will get it. But it's I'm definitely having those moments. I am definitely not cool as a cucumber. What I am, though, is I am much better at recognising what boundaries I have to have in place, what I need to do for me, what is important that I do for me to keep myself ticking over, and becoming much more acceptant in the present. Just accepting, where am I right now? Is there an asteroid coming to hit my house? No, okay, stop panicking, kind of thing. Because today, for example, I had to sort out my car insurance. It's such a mundane life task. Whenever you are stressed out, when you then add stuff like that to your list, I've got to go online and do a compare for my car insurance. Save 300 quid, mind. Never accept your renewal. Always go on and do a quote. Ideally, 2 weeks before your renewal. That's it. I had to book to have new tyres put on the car because all the tyres need change, of course they do. And I had to book an MOT in. That felt all of a sudden I had no room, and then all of a sudden I had all this stuff. But actually, because I was able to just be do you know what? There's no asteroid coming. It is okay. Breathe. You've put in place the boundaries that you need to have so that you've got time this morning to do this. So take a deep breath and do it. And I did. And it's now sorted. So yeah, it's one of those where things are up in the air. I feel potentially a little bit all over the shop, a bit manic by it all. But we're getting there. We're going to get there. I have so much faith that I'm going to get there. We all have so much thrown at us. And yes, this is going to be a really challenging time. Do I know what it's going to look like in the next couple of months? No, not really. Are there massive changes for our family? Yeah. But there's not an asteroid coming towards the house. So we breathe. We recenter. And I just get through what I can do today. And that is what I am hoping to do. So it does mean that my content on here may be a little bit sporadic, because whilst I know I am your favourite motivational, inspirational person here, it's hard to have that every day. So there might be some bits of content that you're nah, Rach could have tried harder. Probably. But all I would ask is if you do, if you're Rach, you have helped me in one little way with one little stupid, analogy you've made or metaphor, please do like the content. Please do write a comment. Please do save it. I know it's beggy as hell. But do you know what? A lot of my business is on here. This is how I get my business, is through social media, through sharing my experience, through sharing my clients, through sharing all of that. And at the minute, it would mean more than ever for you to support that and support me. If I've ever helped in any way, it would really benefit me and our family, and just making me not be oh my God, having to earn all the money for my family and what am I going to do? Because that's stressful. And it's very just you doing that. You have no idea how much it helps. Really, truly, it does. And it would mean the world. Even if, quite frankly, you see it and you think that is shocking. That is not motivational, Rach. That is lacked effort. Well, just know that if it looks like it's lacked effort, I've still probably really tried. It's just been one of those days. Anyway, makeup done, and I'm going to go and do what I do best, which is I'm going to go and chat with my girls and have a good time. Poppy is at the park with Jamie. They're doing PE. That's what we've said. We said we're doing a PE lesson. Girls, we'll get through it. There's no asteroid coming towards the house. Remember that today.